So this next unit in our course is going to be an introduction to computer programming or coding. At the end of our last class, I asked if anyone had any experience in this, and some people said they had some experience, not a lot of experience. So I'm interested to see if we can really dip our toes in the water here of computer programming. And what exactly does that mean for us? What does that involve? And how do I even get started? And so in this unit, we want to take a little bit of a look at what is programming? What's the point? Um, how does your computer need, or how does it use programming and coding? We want to take a look at this really important concept called an algorithm. What does that concept mean and why are they necessary? Um, and how can we maybe design algorithms to be able to solve problems? How do we have to be creative as a programmer? And ultimately, can we maybe do some collaboration to be able to work together in order to code? All right. In order to answer this first question, what exactly is programming? We do have to back up a little bit to all the way to day one in our course when we talked about the definition of a computer. All right. So if we back up here for a second, all the way back to the beginning of February when we started here, or the beginning of September, this was the definition of a computer that I gave you, right? A computer is a multi-purpose machine that processes and stores data through the use of specific instructions, okay? Now, if we can break this definition down a little bit, what are the things that we've discussed in this class already, right? We have already taken a look at processing and storing data, right? When we talked about computer hardware and we looked at the processor and the hard drive, right? We've also talked about being a multi-purpose machine, right? We started to see the fact that your computer can do lots of different things. We've already done some work with spreadsheets and Google Slides and the internet and Classroom, right? Watching this video. These are examples of your computer doing multiple different purposes. The one part of this discussion that we haven't talked about yet are the specific instructions, right? The specific instructions. And if we really want to break this down, I think we identified when we did the computer shopping assignment that in your computer's world, the specific directions are programs. Programs, applications, software is the other term for it. These are the very specific directions that tell the computer what to do, tell the computer how to open up a video file and play it, how to be a video game, how to play music, how to be a spreadsheet. Right? So we're going to have to learn a little bit more about what it takes to give the computer very specific directions on how it works. In reality, this is the core of computer science. There's a lot of different offshoots of computer science. There's a lot of different branches. There's a lot of areas that all go into technology and computers. But if any of you are considering studying computers in the future, whether it's later on in your high school career or even as in college, or if you're thinking about having a job somewhere in this area, at the end of it, computer science is really one of the major skills about programming. Okay, so can I give you a real example of why something like this could really be important, right? Being able to give directions. Well, I don't know if I've said it here. I think I may have at some point in the past. One of my favorite TV shows of all time is The Office. Um, didn't pick it up at first, but once I was turned on to it, I have watched the entirety of the series a number of times, easily 4 or 5 times. I've watched the entire thing through, and then almost any time it's on TV, um, you'll catch me probably with The Office on. All right. And a couple, actually, this past Christmas, for Christmas, my brother got me a Lego set. Got me a Lego set of The Office. It's actually kind of cool, right? So if you're an Office fan, here's Michael Scott's office right there. And there's Dwight and Jim and their desks and reception, right? So this was a fun little project that I got to play with right after Christmas. Sat down, put a movie on, and built the office Legos, right? This was cool. Now, I will tell you that the other day, literally just the other day, my nephew came over. Right, so my brother's son, his name is Dominic, he came over and decided that he wanted to play with the Legos. He came into the office, actually, where I'm recording this video, and he was looking around and he saw the Lego set on the shelf. And we've been playing with it for a while. And as much as I love this Lego set, I'm like, you know what? If he wants to play with it, great. Right. So the other day, I let him play with the Lego set. And there's Dominic, my little buddy. And he decided that he didn't like where everything was put on the Lego board. And now my Lego set looks like this. And if he wasn't so darn cute, I'd be really upset by this, right? So now I'm going to need to put this all back together. In reality, I started with this Lego set kind of like it is right now. It was a big pile of parts, big pile of blocks, big pile of stuff, and I had to figure out how in the heck do I get from bag of parts to the set that's described here in the picture, right? How do we get from part A to part B? I could have just tried to figure it out. I could have just taken this bag of parts and tried to see what I could make and see if there were any patterns or if, oh, okay, this kind of looks like a desk. This looks like a wall, right? Or I needed a set of directions in order to be able to put this together, right? So if I were to give you a bag of Legos, right? If I were to hand this to you, what would be maybe some of the things that you'd be looking for in order to get from bag of parts to the finished Lego set, right? So perhaps, I don't know about you, I put some thought into it here, and these are some of the things that I would like to maybe think about, right? How many of you, if you were to put together Legos or put together a puzzle or put together a piece of furniture from IKEA or Walmart, one of the first things I want to know is what should the product look like, right? Does that help you maybe figure out what, does that help you in assembling the Lego, the furniture, whatever? I know what my end goal is, so this is what it should look like. Great, I'll use that as a guide. I'll tell you that when I got this, and if you got this if you ever put Legos together, you usually just get bags of stuff. And sometimes they're grouped together into like areas, but a lot of times it's just bags, right? So I just want to know is what are all the pieces I can use, right? I'm gonna back up here for a second. What are all these different pieces? What are the green pieces? What are the brown pieces? What are the white pieces? What are the different shapes? What are the different sizes? What are the different stickers, right? I like to kind of know maybe what are all the pieces parts that I get to use. And then maybe I would like small directions on maybe how to put together like the desks or the walls, right? So in this office Lego set, there you did like little bits at a time, right? So you just put together Dwight's desk, you just put together the reception desk, you started to build the walls for Michael's office, right? If you were putting together a piece of furniture, all right, how do I put together the shelves? How do I put together the door? How do I put together the drawers, right? And then how do they all work together? Maybe I wanted to know, once I had these little pieces put together, I needed directions on how to place the desks and the walls on the grid, right? So that I could get from bag of parts to the finished assembled set, right? I needed to know where to put this wall and this wall and this wall. I needed to know where to put the desk. I needed to know where to put the plants. Okay. So these are just some of the things that I was thinking about when I had to assemble the Legos, right? So in reality, what we're trying to do with your computer is we're just trying to give it directions. We're trying to tell it how to do the things it's supposed to do. Okay. So what I'd like you guys to do is to just let's make some directions and see what happens. Okay. In the other posting that's with this video is I came up with, well, let's make some directions. Easy. I'd like to know how to make a sandwich. Can you give me directions on how to make a sandwich? Okay. Imagine I have never made a sandwich before in my life. I have no idea what it is. I don't know how it's supposed to work. I don't know what it's supposed to look like. I don't know what the pieces are I can use. I don't know how to assemble the parts of the sandwich. I'd like to know. So in the other files that are attached to this post, one of them is a slide deck, a slides presentation. And what I would like you to do is find the slide with your name on it. And on that slide, I would like you to come up with a set of directions that you think would adequately help me make a sandwich. I think the example I gave you was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You can use that if you're not a peanut butter and jelly fan, but you have another type of sandwich you like to make. Give me directions on how to make that too. All right, so in the other slide, in the other slides presentation, I would like you to go in there, find the slide that has your name on it, and then on that slide, can you come up with a set of directions that would help me make that sandwich? From I have nothing on the counter to finished sandwich on a plate. Okay, get me the whole deal. All right. If I can make some suggestions to you, just to maybe throw something out there at you. A, assume I know nothing. Right? Assume I know nothing. B, give me very specific directions. Don't assume that I know anything. Tell me to be as specific as possible. Okay, so let's give that a shot. That'll be your assignment for today. And then tomorrow, I would like to maybe take a look and see what you guys came up with. And then how does making a sandwich and how does building an office Lego set, how does that translate into what we're trying to do when we are giving the computers directions through coding and through programming?